Wait, I wish it was organized better. I'm in featured. I need favorites.
Applause was up.
Hi, we're back.
Again. With the puppy.
And Dragon Age. He does bark, but he makes no noises, which is kind of weird. I guess he just does it randomly. But why? Do you want to talk to anybody before we go to Dead Room?
Of course I do.
Who do you want to talk to?
Who's that?
People who take your ruins away.
Let's talk to him.
Loading.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I am hardly surprised.
Oof.
Actually, never mind.
Very well.
I wanted to
Speak then. Then I suggest we move on.
Okay, Sven has not said. He has nothing to say to you.
As you wish.
We have Shale that we haven't talked to. We just got Shale,
Yeah.
and we also got Zevran.
Who are these guys?
Remember, they sell you shit. Yes.
Yes, its adventures are interesting, even if the chances for success are remarkably slim. It would be better to throw oneself off a cliff, I suspect.
Not me too.
Does it wish me to leave? I can, though I see no reason to go.
Eesh.
No.
No, stay. You're quite helpful. Don't go. I need you. What do you want? I think it should be best. No, that would send Shale away.
Yeah, stay here.
Yeah, stay here.
No
We
doubt.
just got Shale. Why would we
Without
send Shale
me,
away?
it would have to
he's so
carry
close to
its inventory on its own. Perhaps we should continue. Its chances of success are small enough without further dawdling.
Big oof.
Big oof indeed. Sigh again. I would expect a golem to be different.
Yeah.
Different? Different than what? Different than a statue? Different than a log? Should I talk in a monotone? Yes, Master, I exist to serve the Master. I shall kill for the Master and only for the Master. Perhaps it expected me to have a booming voice. Recite limericks. I can recite limericks, if it likes.
No need to get touchy. I see. That's what I'm talking about. Are there dirty limericks?
No need to get touched.
I am not sensitive. I am made of stone. Sensitive is the exact opposite of what I am. I
Not
have
wrong.
never met another golem. I have no idea what one might be like, or why I wouldn't be like them. Why? Has it met other golems? Did they not sound as I do?
We didn't talk at all. I have no idea what golems sound like. I have just seen. They just seem very animated. Being different isn't bad.
I have no idea what golems sound
I
like.
don't know what other golems might be like, but I am already superior by virtue of my free will. This is a good thing.
If you say so, I agree. Being a golem would be handy, and it's an experience. I'll give you that. The control rod, it could always be fixed.
Golem would be...
Imagine the benefits. No need to eat or sleep or perform other functions. Walk underwater, crush the heads of every opponent. The possibilities are limitless. Barring the occasional 30 years or so of paralysis, there's little to compare.
30 years
Now
of
stop
paralysis?
talking so much. The wagging of its moist little tongue is distracting.
Oof.
Shale disappointed Shale.
I have some questions.
Questions?
It doesn't have better things to do.
Nope.
No.
What are those crystals? Yeah.
I like to think of them as accessories.
What do they do? Do golems all golems have them? Are they worth a lot?
I suspect that it is an art that was practiced when golems were more, commonplace. My former master collected whatever lore he could find on the subject. He searched far and wide to collect what crystals he could and then added them. It is not an unpleasant sensation.
But you don't have sensation, do you?
I do not know.
Because she just said that stone is the opposite sensitive. So therefore, like, she couldn't feel things, right?
Oof.
That doesn't explain anything. So it's like decoration. It's a dwarven thing. Then.
So their decoration.
As I understand it, the crystals allow me to alter the flow of magic around me. Wilhelm had hoped to turn me into a battery of mana, something he could tap at will.
Try to make you into a battery pack?
Oof. Portable battery. Yeah. Did he succeed?
Not really. Although now that I think of it, these attempts may be what caused my disruption. Some of the crystals increase the presence of mana, some absorb or reflect spells. There are various kinds. All I can promise is that should it ever find one of these crystals, I can likely tell it the function and what it would do if added to me.
Oh? Would you be willing to have more added? I don't want to take advantage, Shale. That sounds promising. Where would I find them?
Would you... I don't know.
I don't know.
Cool, we'll go too.
Why not? I don't get to wear clothing and other adornments like the rest of you creatures after all.
I guess crystals
That
are their
answers
accessories
its
now.
question, I assume. Unless it has more.
I'm told you killed your former master.
Oh, how interesting. Certainly I remember having a master. My memories of what happened to him are vague.
Vague how? You expect me to leave that vague, but non-existent. But what keeps you from doing it again? That's very convenient.
Clever and true. Oh, very well. Let me see what I can recall. My former master enjoyed experimenting upon me. I remember that much. There was tinkering with spells and then the crystals. He was very eager to alter my function, I think.
Because of the battery thing.
Yeah, that sort of experiment. Alter you. Why, you're fun. Yeah.
Bring Mike closer to you.
Flattery. And obvious flattery, too. I feel warm and fuzzy inside.
You don't feel...
He possessed my control rod, and back then, it would have prevented me from doing anything he did not command me to, no matter how I might have wished to. So what happened? I am unsure. He was experimenting, and then... nothing.
Are you sure nothing? Nothing at all? So he hit the kill me button by accident. What do you remember next?
YOLO.
And then he was gone. I was standing where I was, in the village, and I could no longer move. The villagers came, poked and prodded me in fear, and then realized they could neither move me nor destroy me, so they simply left me. And in time I forgot I hadn't stood there all along.
Oh?
Must have been terrible.
But you wanted to kill him, right? You don't wonder where he's gone.
Yeah.
In fact, at first I found it more of a relief. For so many years I'd had to leap to that little toadstool's every command. Get this, pick up that, put it down, pick it up again. The gall! At first I'd hoped he'd simply decided to leave me there paralyzed, an acceptable trade-off. After years passed, I simply stopped caring.
I don't believe you. It sounds like you had a good rest. Maybe that's something to do with your crystals. What happened next?
Sounds like you had...
I think I was ready to move on. Another few years
Alarm
and the
clock
moss would
going
have
off.
covered my face. And then where would I have been? Whatever the mage did seemed to render the control rod useless, for which I should be thankful, yes?
Yep.
And provided it doesn't decide to copy his experiments, not that I would allow it, it is nothing to fear from me. Much.
Sounds good to me. Just try a golem. I'm no mage. I am certainly curious about the story.
Sounds good.
The things that it fights, and it fights things often, that is a different story. Let us get back to the walking and the fighting. My stone is beginning to itch again.
But you can't feel things, right? Plus 13. I just keep asking Shale questions.
Yeah.
It doesn't have better things to do.
No.
How did you end up there? Do you remember?
Did you watch The Lord's Day and Night for years?
Do this one.
Oh, yes. That I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along.
Okay.
Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
It's like, I would have thought you enjoyed scaring humans. And why would you're out there in front of the tower? You don't like this Wilhelm, I take it. And do you remember anything before Henthal? Can't remember how to pronounce that name.
Yeah.
I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that,
Alright.
No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
Somewhere dark. Just how old are you exactly? I would have thought you enjoyed scaring humans but why were you in front of the tower? You don't, I take it you don't like this Wilhelm. I take it?
I have no idea. Wilhelm used to brag that the dwarves stopped making golems centuries ago.
So
I
they're
do not
very
age
old.
as you soft creatures do. Sadly, my memory is no better. Plus, I get bored and stop paying attention.
Big oof.
Big oof indeed.
Would have thought you enjoyed
I'd have happily stomped them all into paste.
Okay.
And then ripped down their little houses and stomped on them, too.
Not really
In
scaring
fact,
humans,
after
you know?
30 years of watching them, I'd do it twice. What I didn't like was being ordered to do it. Dangled in front of those frightened morons like some scary thing. Once I was a statue, it took those villagers years before they'd even approach me. The first one to actually work up the nerve to touch me urinated himself. Ugh.
Why were you in front of the tower?
That is where Wilhelm kept me. He wanted me out in the open where I could be frightening like a scarecrow. I was supposed to watch for thieves. Pah! Plus, his wife didn't want me indoors. She said there wasn't room for me. Hag.
His wife?
I was once larger, 10 feet tall. Then the loathsome hag complained that I couldn't fit through the doors. So the mage had me shrunk down. Can it believe it? And she still wanted me out.
Wait, how do you shrink how does someone shrink a golem?
Well, there is a nice question for that.
With a chisel. And a lot of nerve.
Oh. I thought there was a spell.
Me too.
But no, it's just chisel and hammer. So you don't like Willem, I'm
He
guessing.
did love using that control rod. Fondled it so much, his wife actually threatened to throw it in the lake. Ha! I would have liked to have seen that. Which reminds me, where did it find the rod? Did
Someone
it pay
sold
a
it to
great deal
us?
for it?
Yeah. William's wife, right?
No, it was
No.
like Willem's life. Yeah, she sold it.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Hag.
Already.
Good. I was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
Oh, you know
Yeah.
it.
We like to do +2. Are you gonna ask him the last question?
Of course.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Of course not.
How did Willem acquire you and what village years?
Yeah.
Sure.
That part I know, as Wilhelm often bragged about it to whomever was willing to listen to him. He claimed to have found me in the deep roads. I was in the ruins of a Tig, he said, deactivated, with my control rod not far away.
You don't know where you were then? What was Willem doing in the deep roads? Do you know where the deep roads this was? If he had found you, hadn't found you.
YOLO.
I think I remember a battle. It was long before, and then there was darkness.
Darkness.
In short, no, I do not remember why I was there. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
It was a hobby of his, scavenging. One of the reasons he traveled so much is that he was looking for entrances into the deep roads, old places the dwarves had long forgotten. And then he would sneak down and search for magical treasure, before anyone was the wiser.
Oof.
Wouldn't that be dangerous?
Indeed.
Yeah, because there's dark
He had
spawn in the deep
spells
roads.
that
That's where they
allowed
come
him to
from.
remain hidden and move quickly, but he had no defense against
Did
the
you have
blight
to have
and
just,
worried
like-
constantly that he would get sick. If any darkspawn showed themselves, he fled. More often, he would have to fight other scavengers, dwarves who had become tainted. In the end, it killed him. I mean, he found me there, right?
True.
So if he hadn't found
I wouldn't have had to put up with the twit, and I would be none the wiser. I don't think I was aware while I was there. Not like in the village. Or perhaps I was. Perhaps that was the dark place, and I simply couldn't see anything.
I mean,
How long could
you
even
can't really
I
see
sit in
things
the
in a dark
darkness and
place.
stare out at nothing, never sleeping? Oh, I do not wish to think of that.
yeah.
No, that secretive bastard refused to tell me. I would ask and ask, but no. He used to say that one day, if I were compliant and didn't talk back at his wife, he would take me there and I could look around myself. Rotten, lying bastard. If I had his head in my hands now, I would squeeze it like a giant lemon. Squish.
Let's move on.
Then,
One more question.
One more question.
I've watched
Expecting
a lot of humans in
minor
my
what?
time.
Oh, I didn't.
It should be aware that
I
I've
didn't read it
decided
either.
that
Just like I
it
saw it,
is
just like bright green
not
thing on
much
screen.
like any of them.
Ooh, two more. Wait.
I have watched a lot of humans in my time, so I'm aware that I decided you're not like most of them. Well, I'm an elf for one. You're an elf one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not just that. Well, I'm sure that's part of it, but it's not only that.
Okay.
Surely
Is it because of her
must come
monster
from
face?
some
Beautiful.
superior lineage, yes?
Tuli, it's frightening.
Some breed of flesh creature that has decided to elevate its genetic stock above its natural shortcomings.
What?
What? Surely it has come to this superior. Very likely I'm Dailish after all this. That's a backhand compliment in there. I'm somewhere.
See that superior lineage? Because Tuli is perfect.
She's a monster, Regan. You have to acknowledge that.
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
Then that must be it. The humans have always spoken about elves being inferior, but obviously this is their own stupidity talking.
Okay.
I would appreciate if it didn't spread around that I said anything. Humans might start to get the wrong idea. They might start thinking their race is not completely hopeless.
Big oof.
And we wouldn't want that. Yeah, I'll keep it to myself. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
YOLO.
Indeed. Can it imagine the horror? Oh. Now, let us crush something into a fine paste before it starts to think I've gone all soft. Perish the thought.
Okay.
It
Just one more
speaks.
question for Shale.
It doesn't have better things to do.
No, we've discussed this.
Yeah, this one.
I do not sleep, so yes. And I thank it for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Try to imagine, if it will, what it would be like to be surrounded by nothing but boring peasants, all oblivious to it.
Sounds like
Like a bit of a voyeur? Oh, I'm sure it's more interesting than that, and yes, it would be rather horrid.
Oh, yes. It certainly was the height of intrigue to listen to the accounts of how young Dornan had scandalized the village by his purchase of an Orlesian hat. And the argument that those two muddy farmers had over the price of barley for a whole summer. Riveting. And then there were the birds. A whole village full of pigeons and ravens and sparrows all perching on me day in and day out.
And I'm guessing they did what birds do with statues.
what did they do? They're birds. I see. Yes, your bird thing.
The
It
bird
is
thing.
not a thing. It is a perfectly reasonable reaction to being constantly pestered. I was helpless to react. Those foolish villagers would spread birdseed near me, drawing the birds, because they thought having birds perch on me was quaint. Quaint!
Big
If there
oof.
hadn't been the
Wait, then
occasional
how to
kind
get
soul
clean?
to
Because
scour
there's
me
clearly no
clean,
bird
I would-
shit on you now.
I don't care to discuss this anymore.
Gonna get a minus. Still. Alrighty.
Right.
Where to next?
There's also Zebrin.
Yeah.
Darren's over by the camp. That's Morgan.
Yeah, does Morgan have anything to say?
I doubt it.
YOLO.
Loading.
I await your command.
So life in the Kukari Wilds must have been lonely, disgustingly personal.
Yeah.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
What did the trees say? And did they speak back? That seems normal to you. But eventually you left.
Sounds wonderful. Did they speak back?
Don't be foolish. I recall the
All
first
right.
time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar.
Oh.
I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I
Okay.
snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
So you're a thief. Can you imagine? Can't imagine Plymouth was pleased. What happened then?
Yeah.
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Big oof. You were just a child. I have a hard time picturing you heartbroken. Plymouth was right. No doubt.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning.
Yeesh.
Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
I feel sorry for you, but don't you need to live? You don't need to live that way longer. And you may be stronger. That made you stronger, didn't they? And that's a heartless lesson to teach a child.
They made you stronger.
They
I guess?
did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Cool.
4. Cool.
We'll finish up Morgan later. I'll
Okay.
go talk to the other dude.
The other dude? The one that we haven't talked to, that you forgot that we actually had him in the party?
Yeah.
Right across. Yeah, that guy. Do you want to talk to Happy?
I'll talk to Happy after.
Okay.
Here I am.
Yes, you are. I have some here to answer some questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What's it like? What does it take to be an assassin? Why do you want to leave the crows exactly? Tell me about Antiva. What's your opinion on the Dalish? And let's move on.
Well, the crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training. The sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance.
But
Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is the desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
so you have to be a murderer. It doesn't take any special skill. You do quite well, no doubt. Although we did beat you.
Doesn't take any special
I
skills.
don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer, as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible.
Yes.
Debilitate your foe, either by
Not an
poison or by
assassin,
crippling
not a
their
rogue.
limbs, makes any follow-up
Worst rogue.
combat you need to engage
Worst
in
rogue.
that much simpler.
It sounds it could be useful. I prefer straight up battle. You always use poison then?
I do. It is not something inherent in an assassin's skills, however, merely something complementary. Of course, the crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery.
But
So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
sure.
Here I am.
Yes.
Can you teach others to be an assassin?
Sure.
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
Sure. Don't you think this is important? And what if I order you to? Well, very well. Respect your word.
I'll be a good noodle.
Respect your
If
decision.
you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows?
Basically, you gotta become friends with him.
I see.
Here I am.
That's the questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
True. So you're simply bored. You didn't choose to join the crows, and what would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And that system works? That's awful. So you had a hard life. Big deal. Oof. Big oof.
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that
Okay.
does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
Sure. And so what is it you fancy exactly? You sound like you've been spoiled. Didn't you just leave then? I think I understand.
Why didn't you just leave?
And become the next mark for some up-and-coming crow? Not likely. The only way to leave is for them to think you're dead. And even then, you'd best be scarce. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Because you got nowhere else to go. You think that will change, and what will the first... And when you get the first chance to return me, when the crows eventually find you, I'm happy to have you along.
Yeah.
And here I am, happy to be had. Isn't it wonderful how things work out that way? Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any
They're like the
Antivan fishwife
boogeyman.
could
Or
tell
you
you so.
just you call them 3 times and they appear.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Here I am.
Yes. Questions.
Yeah.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva.
Okay.
You're respected, you are feared. The authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses. Even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at.
But
As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
you've never killed an innocent? I disagree completely. No, you're probably right.
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens.
Never on purpose.
It's
Reed, I think you and him would get
Death
along.
comes to
I
us all.
don't try to.
If not
I
me,
wanna save the
then
kid. I
some
don't wanna
wasting
send him to the
disease, or a
farmhouse.
fall down the stairs, or
By
at the
accident.
hands of a darkspawn.
Accident's key
It's all
word.
relative in the end.
Sounds like a very practical attitude. That's despicable. You're a murderer. I suppose it's true.
I didn't know what he did. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate but death comes to all of us. But if not me, then some wasting disease or falling down the stairs or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative at the end.
Yeah.
Death happens, as we like to say. And when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed. The pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
Press X to doubt. I take no pleasure in killing.
I enjoy violence myself. It's a bit sick. I know what you mean.
I take no pleasure.
It is not pleasure per se, nothing sexual. It is more a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of power. Does that make sense? No matter. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules. Oh, so many rules.
Why are
But
there so many
simply
rules
being
for
an
murder?
assassin, I like it
Because-
just fine.
Because
I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
had some health like you, I think of a few things. If not, you could do whatever you like. You don't have any other skills, and no, I suppose not.
YOLO, why not?
Whereas I am content merely doing what I happen to be good at. It's a talent that not many come by, honestly. I don't see why I need not pursue it. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Oof.
Oof.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
More
Oh,
questions?
This should be good. Go ahead.
Tell me a little about Tiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
It's here, basically. It's Vancouver. It's often warm, it rains almost all the time,
Yep.
and it's always green.
Yep. So you don't like Ferelden?
And it has assassins. And don't you want to go back?
Ooh, no.
Oh, it died. The remote died. Oh, hang on.
Ready to put that one there?
Hang on. Oh no.
What's up?
I would have to turn this off.
Oh no.
Look. Oh wait. Reassign controllers. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Cool.
Okay, we're back. Had to switch controllers.
So you don't like Ferelden?
It is fine enough with its dogs and its mud.
Dogs
The
are
people
pretty-
are spirited, even if they can't tell the difference between an assassin and a mere killer. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
We came from a forest.
Of course.
My mother was better than any gem. I don't know why we have that as an option.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, of course. The wandering life of the Dalish. That truly is better. I'm jealous.
Huh?
You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels,
Lilo
I miss
flutes?
the leather the most.
Now that's odd. And is that some kind of euphemism? And this I have to hear.
YOLO.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home more than anything else.
Strange, but okay. Sounds like you've been away from home forever. That's a little bizarre. Rather, there's leather everywhere. Really? You smell a cesspool and think of home?
We'll go with that.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. Ah, but I was a fool to leave them.
Get him some leather boots.
Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran. I asked about Antiva, not your leather fetish. The job by killing me, right? No Antiva boots for you.
True, and it's a comforting thought.
No
One
boots for you.
simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my
Hear
life?
that about Thule?
Could not.
He says that to everybody. He likes the booty. All
Hear
booty. Beauty, is it? Everybody makes mistakes. You need to make some most of where you are. Don't me change my mind.
We'll go with that.
Quite right you are. I see the Grey Wardens do not recruit fools. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
Okay.
We have this gigantic wheel of cheese.
I think there's one.
Here
more.
I am.
One more? Questions?
Oh, this should be
Oh wait,
good.
did I? Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one, or so I was told.
No.
She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease, and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. All is tale in the book.
Zevran, that's horrid. That's horrible. Was the woodcutter your father? So you're an assassin and the son of a whore. None of these are good.
Whoa.
Is it? It seemed normal enough a tale
It's
growing
the only
up.
good one.
No
Either that we
different
accuse
than
his
the other
mother of
elven
being a
boys in the
whore,
whorehouse.
and then we...
I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We
Damn.
were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough
Big
existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the crows. I brought a good price, so I hear.
I'm so sorry. What does this have to do with the Dalish? And you're not oddly cheerful. You're oddly cheerful about this.
Ah, compassion and beauty both in the same woman. It is a delight, truly, though what you say is unnecessary, even if it is appreciated. It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all.
You can say that again. I'm not like you. You're to compare my life to yours?
I don't know what my backstory is.
Well, we're Dalish. Racism.
Okay.
So,
We'll go with that.
My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always a point of fascination for me. Through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beautiful. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again.
but how do you feel with the Dalish in general? Has this been a no joy in your life at all? But you think of yourself as Dalish? I know the sort of gloves you speak of.
I don't know about the gloves.
Well, they're Dalish gloves.
So,
So, someone in your clan may or may not have made them.
YOLO.
Yellow?
I don't know.
Yellow. Sure.
I suppose you would. I'd always wanted another. In fact, I ran off to join a clan once when they drew near Antiva City, thinking that there I would find my true calling.
Nope.
Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come, enough talk of the Dalish. Let us move on.
Okay. Well, now we can talk to Happy. Talk to our boy. Who's staring off in the distance. He is peeing. He's a peeing. Leave Happy. Pet the dog. Pet Pupper.
Such a good puppo.
Now forward to data room.
No, we should pet the puppy.
We just did pet the puppy. We just petted the pupper.
We could pet the pupper again.
You can't pet that pupper. What are you doing now?
I don't know. Exploring.
This is just a circular campsite.
Exploring. Alrighty.
Forward! It's almost been an hour.
Do we wanna...
Do we want to get to Ditterum?
Okay.
Then we can say goodbye?
So we're gonna choose...
Yes.
Alistair? You're not gonna try anybody new? We need some magic.
Yes.
Do we?
Yes.
Oh, blast it.
No, I was hoping to press okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Magic!
Yes.
We need magic. You can't always just fight. It's 3 warriors and a rogue.
Have you confirmed I am a rogue?
That's the only class that you pick. And also, Denimum's over there.
Yes, this one?
Yeah, that one.
Ooh, it's a big hike.
Yep. It's gonna be a bit.
Or trail of murder and
Going.
death. Combat.
Combat. Combat. It's combat.
Yeah.
Will you stop eating?
No, combat.
Do we rush them and spring into ambush? Do we want to listen to this?
I'm hungry. Stuff your face at camp. For now, watch the bloody road.
Rush them, listen, leave, and skillfully evade their clueless trap?
But we've been looking at the road for hours. No travelers all day.
Will one of you pay attention?
Keep listening?
Who's there?
Well,
See another pigeon, I will kill it.
Yes.
there was that weird echo on Shale. What was that? Oof.
Yes.
Good time?
Going.
Just like, I'm here listening to the remote, and just like, it's rumbling. Just like,
Right. Going.
just like,
Right. Yes. And
It's not rumbling anymore.
I just heard like a rumble like,
A waste of time.
yeah, that.
Yes. And I'm off. Oh, right.
Moving in range.
Going.
Well, you can't go that way, Regan, because there's a door. Oh wait, you can. I think you can set it on fire.
YOLO.
YOLO?
Going.
Why not set it on fire?
Oh, right.
Who likes setting things on fire? What was that? Oh, so Alistair's dead.
Why?
I don't know why. Should we go revive him?
Where is he?
He's over there.
Over here?
Yeah. Or at
Trap. So simple to see, really.
least I trap. Trap. Why would you do that? You could have disarmed it. Why didn't you? Why not disarm the trap?
And I'm off.
Oh,
And I'm
mountain
off.
You're a rogue. It's what you're meant to do.
Going.
Regan.
I don't know where Alistair
Now.
went.
I
Trap.
don't know.
So simple to see, really.
Trap.
Oh, that's the wrong thing.
Trap.
How do I deactivate it?
You would just have to get close to it. See?
I like running through it. More fun.
Well, you can burn this.
Oh, right.
Or just do that. Just like... Just ragdoll the wooden blocks.
Of course.
Where are you trying to go?
Here.
Regan, there's a path just over that way.
Oh, I can't attack this fence.
No!
It came from there.
You opened up that path since you deactivated the trap.
Just exploring, you know.
As your teammates die, like happy. Shale's doing pretty good, but that's just Shale because she's made a rock. Weirdly textured rock.
They're stuck on the...
And I'm
Maybe
off.
break it down
That's what I'm gonna
Yes. And I'm off.
as you stab this man in the gut.
do. Yeah.
Never mind. They're good. They're good.
Oh, right.
Whack. His barrier, whack. His technique, whack.
I think that's
Everything else about him, whack. Us, we're tight as fuck. There's another enemy somewhere.
Is there...
Turn around. Wolf is attacking them.
Oh shoot, that's
It
happening
must.
to me.
Over there. The wolf's about to die. The wolf is dead. He dead.
I'm still alive.
Oh, right.
Doggo is dead.
Yes. And I'm off.
That guy's dead.
Yes.
Your wolf did more than you did.
Going.
That's okay.
Yes. Right.
He's also dead now. Is that it?
Is it just me, or did
Yes.
I do really badly back there?
Yes, you did. You died.
Oof.
Well, that guy's sparkling. Lyrium. Some bones. Grumpy Bandit. It just is called Grumpy Bandit.
Me too.
Chest. You can open it.
Yeah.
Success.
Scale gloves. You can level. Also, Shale can level up.
See that. I'm gonna go loot everything first, I think.
Yeah.
Is
Loot.
it the chest?
Loot. 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 Loot.
Moving on.
Let's go this way.
What's this way?
I don't know.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing that way.
And
Break
I'm
down
off.
this.
Oh, right.
Because it's fun and
Going.
ridiculous.
Don't look now.
Gotta get
Logs
that
don't move
speed.
like that.
Oh, it's just Alistair.
It's Alistair, and there's a trap. That goes to the world map.
Don't want to go there yet.
Not yet. Nothing there. Chest.
It's done, naturally.
Woo! And I think that's the last bones. That's all money. Money, 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 money. Oh wait, there's a chest. It's just like
Over with.
embedded into the ground. Is that guy Sparkle?
Yep.
Sparkly! Hungry Bandit.
Yeah. I think that's.
Deep Mushroom.
I think that's the last one.
I think so. Yes. Stratum Statue of Lady.
Boop.
Boop. Level up. Auto level. Whoop. Alright, we got the cheese knife. I just remembered.
Cheese knife is a good knife.
Even though it's like really way too big for it to be a cheese knife.
It's a big cheese knife.
But for big wheels of cheese.
You saw the wheel of cheese we had back at camp.
Yes. Whose wheel of cheese is that anyways?
Happy's.
Happy has no thumb, and plus his cheese is bad for dogs.
Oh.
Isn't it? Meow. Now we at dinner room.
How come the bottom one's flashing?
What do you mean flashing? Oh, that's where we got shale.
Okay.
Don't know why it's flashing though. Maybe because
Alrighty.
it's like DLC. Yeah.
Ooh, spooky.
Loading, loading, waiting for it to load. Do 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 do. There we go, dinner room. Now that we're here, do I say goodbye next? Want to continue next time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Bye. Bye. Bye.